Welcome everyone to this video. In this video, I am going to talk about one of the recent feature, I would say that one of the advancements which Snowflake has made with respect to how we can control things on a parameter level. So let us quickly jump onto this demo. Okay, so I like to kind of run few commands before even I will go to that particular parameter. So show parameter is something when you execute it will display everything that can be set at an account level, as you see over here. Now over here, if I execute a command like show parameters like default, what I'm going to get is certain values. So today I'm going to give a demo about default null ordering, and over here this is something new which actually can be set at a user level and at an maybe session level, you can think, right? So over here we'll see what this parameter can actually do. Okay, it is all about how do we manage nulls, and whenever we are executing a SQL query and executing query like having order by clauses, and then we see the null values going up and down. So that is exactly how we can control things whenever we are using this particular default null ordering as a session parameter level. Okay, so let's create one table. So over here I just created very simple table, and I'm going to maybe insert some records, and I'm going to execute one particular command. So what we saw over here is the default null ordering value. Whenever you execute, the default value will always be set at last. So I didn't do anything. I have not changed the session parameter of this value to anything else. So just when I executed, it came like this, right? So I've created a table, I've inserted some records. So what I do is I will try to execute this query now. Okay, so star order by name. If you see this, the name value came first and then the null value. Likewise, okay, if I do ascending, so you will hardly see any changes, right? This command and this SQL command is exactly the same, right? This SQL and this SQL. So null values are coming towards the end, right? And if I execute something like descending, then what will happen is the null value will go up. Okay, now is there any way that even if I execute this command, I have a mechanism to push these null values upwards instead of downwards, right? The null value should come first and then the actual value. Okay, and that is exactly when this parameter will come in handy. Okay, how do you change this parameter? This is how you execute, right? So it's a session level parameter. So what I do is this is anyways there, right? So what I will do is let's see what is the default value which has already been set. Last was the default value. That means null values were coming at the last. Okay, what I will do is I will have to change it to first and then execute the same command. Okay, right? See, the statement got executed successfully now. Okay, now let me see whether it has changed itself from last to first, right? You see, first, and now what I will do is I will try to execute the same command. If you see this, I have changed the session level parameter. You see the null values have started appearing at the very first, and likewise if with ascending, what will happen is same thing, null value will come at the very first, and descending it is just the opposite. Okay, right? So that is exactly how this parameter is going to work within Snowflake. Now one important thing to note over here is, if we don't want to control things at a session level, at a user level, but we want to control things at a SQL level, at a command level, so how do I ensure that I even override these parameters, right? So this is how we can execute this command. So right now if you see this, right, if I'm executing this command, like this is the command, right? Order by name. Okay, nulls are coming at the very first. Why? Because I've changed the session parameter to first. The default null ordering is first. Now if I want to execute this command, what will happen is this null value should come at last. Okay, irrespective of the session parameter being set at first. Okay, so let's see whether it is working or not. Right? You see this, right? all your valid values came in first and then null values came at the last. Okay, right? Likewise, that is how things will work within Snowflake. If I want to ensure that I capture things at a session level, or I want to customize things at a at a query level, I can do that. And I find this particular kind of capability within Snowflake which they have launched, it's like very useful, because I'm also telling a couple of use cases, right? If null values always show up at the top unexpectedly, it will disrupt your readability, right? So hence you want things to be managed and controlled at a session level, okay, or at a user level. Likewise, if I am setting things at a user and session level with default null ordering value, it will make our sorting logic very consistent across the queries too, especially when we create all the data engineering pipelines, or when we run very custom reports, be it Tableau, be it Power BI. Okay, so one last thing over here, why do we even call this as a session level parameters? Okay, now think of it like this is what I am executing, right? What was the default value? The default value was last, right? But over here I changed it to first. And what is my session over here, right? So this is a fresh session against which I am doing all my testing. Let's say I will create another SQL worksheet, okay, like this, and then what I will do is I will just execute this command. Okay, I want to see whether the same value is restored, or I am getting a completely different value altogether. Okay, now if I execute this, you see this value is last right now, because whatever changes I did over here, it will be persistent to only this session, not beyond that, right? And that is why it is called as a session level parameter. Over here, if I want to do any changes, anyways I will have to execute a command like this one, alter session default null ordering first or last, right? So that was it about this demo, wherein this default null ordering is introduced very newly by Snowflake, and it has got a lot of potential with respect to we using it as per our use case, right? So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this video, please feel free to like, subscribe to my channel, and please feel free to talk about it. Thank you so much once again.